What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Miss Tay Nicole, and welcome back to Let's Talk Black History with me, Tay Nicole, where we don't just talk history, we correct it. So, today we're talking about something they definitely did not teach us in school, at least not in most schools. I don't even think my school talked about it now that I'm thinking about it. But we're talking about an advanced African city made entirely out of stone, built between the 11th and 15th century. We're talking about the Great Zimbabwe, or Zimbabwe, depending on which way you pronounce it. And once you hear this, you're going to start questioning everything they ever told you about Africa. Let's jump into it. So, what is the Great Zimbabwe? Hmm. The Great Zimbabwe or technically still is, was a massive stone city located in, of course, Zimbabwe. It was built by ancestors of the Shona, which I believe is Shona, the Shona people. Once again, it was somewhere between the 11th and 15th century. But this massive, and I do mean massive city, this city once held up to 20,000 people. The walls reached somewhere up to 36 feet high. And here's the part that really hits. These stones were stacked without mortar. No cement, no glue, no adhesive, just precision engineering, mathematics, and skill. This wasn't primitive, this was international architecture. So, one of the most impressive parts of the city is called the Great Enclosure. You heard me, the Great Enclosure. It's one of the largest ancient structures in Serena, Africa. I think I said that right. Inside there's a colonial. Y'all about to see my speech impediment kick in. Conical tower, and historians still debate its exact purpose. Some believe it symbolizes royalty, power, or maybe even just a grain storage space, which also represented wealth. But let's pause it there because this city wasn't just beautiful; it was wealthy. Let's talk a little bit about the wealth. So you had trades and global connections throughout Zimbabwe. Archaeologists found Chinese porcelain, Arab glass beads, uh, ceramics. I'm trying to think what else they found. The point is, I want you to let that sink into your mind, the things that they found. So, what this means is Great Zimbabwe was connected to international trade networks stretching across the Indian Ocean. So they had trades that extended past just their grounds. They traded things like gold, ivory, cattle. This wasn't an isolated thing. This wasn't behind. This was global. I mean, cities like Kilwakesawani, where trade partners existed, and I think I said that wrong, and if I did, I'm so sorry. But Africa was participating in international commerce long before Europe colonized anything in the region. They were building monumental things long before colonization. So, where do we go with this? The colonial lies, of course. So, here's where we get a little bit deeper into things. When European colonizers discovered the ruins in the 19th century, they refused to believe and give Africans credit for building it. They rather state that Arabs or um, Even their people built it. They even claim so much that it had to be built by I forgot how to pronounce this word. I think it's Phonicans? I forgot to pronounce it. But even biblical figures. But the question is why? Why would it be so hard to admit that Africans built advanced civilizations? Why? It would destroy the narrative the Europeans are superior. Eventually, archaeologists did prove that it was in fact built by local African ancestors, specifically the Shona people. But the damage was already done. Most historians were already trying to rewrite history, and history was always being rewritten, and Africans were always minimized, which of course they call us black now. I mean, of course, you got Africans and black, but the point is, we all black to them. But why does this matter today? Well, the Great Zimbabwe is so powerful that the country of Zimbabwe named itself after it when gaining independence in 1980. Zimbabwe literally means house of stones. That's legacy, that's pride, that's reclaiming their truth. So when someone says Africa had no civilization. Africa had no intelligence, no architectural structures that they created of their own. I want you to now know what you now know. They had cities, they had trade, they had architecture, they had wealth, they had power, they had intelligence, they had intellectual meaning. And that is why we talk Black history. Not just during Black History Month, not just when school says, hey, let's talk about something black, and not just when it's trending, but because the truth deserves to live. If you learned something new today, make sure you do me a favor, and that's like, comment, and if you can, subscribe. I want you to drop in the comments houses of stone. If you're proud of this history, your history, and I'll see you in the next week's episode of Let's Talk Black History with Tay Nicole. As always, stay peaceful, stay blessed, and let's stay black, baby. Peace out.